What up, B Squad? It is me, JB, and we are here today, you guys, with Let's Get Into the Blogs, you guys. So this is going to be number 116, you guys. And these are going to be the topics for the week of March the 24th through, February 24th through March the 1st, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into these topics, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop checking out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into what's hot and what's trending this week, shall we? I thought there's something else that I wanted to talk about. All right, guys, so this week we'll talk about some things from this week as well as things last week, because last week I meant to do the video, but you guys know that last weekend I went home for my cousin's funeral, and then, told you guys that Bay had a death in the family, so it was just a lot. So that's why we didn't do it last week. I absolutely meant to do it last week. This week, I meant to record these videos on Thursday, but it was just so much going on this week with work that I couldn't find the time on Thursday to record the video. Then on Friday, it was like, okay, what I had intended to do Friday, since, this week was Employee Appreciation Week, my job let us off 2 hours early. So my intention was to record it when I got off of work on Friday. And I was like, I got off work 2 hours early. I was like, you know what, you just gonna chill and then do whatever you wanna do later tonight. And then we got to Saturday. So we got to, Saturday, and we're recording on Saturday. So yeah, it's been an eventful week, you guys. But yeah, you guys, the first story that we're gonna talk about, and I hope you guys can see me. I know I wore my glasses in another video, and I kept looking. I was like, damn, you can see the ring light. But for this, I will need my glasses for sure so that I can read. But the first story that we're going to talk about is going to be with AT&T, you guys. So earlier this week, I think it might have been, Tuesday, or I think it was Tuesday when this happened. Now, mind you, I was knocked out when this happened. So I woke up that morning to get on social media and see that AT&T had an outage, right? Where everybody's phones were saying SOS. And I think they even said the internet was down too. And the crazy thing is, I have this phone and the phone that I use now for my notes. Both of these phones are AT&T, right? This one's a prepaid and this one's just my regular contract, right? And I was like, fuck. It went down, but when I woke up, it was working. I was like, oh, okay, so maybe it didn't affect me. But I know it went from, it might have been Wednesday. It might have been Wednesday, because I know it wasn't rectified until by the weekend. So it might have been Wednesday going into Thursday. So I was like, well, it didn't affect either one of these phones, because they were working perfectly. So I was like, maybe it happened over the course of the night. Now, if it had been my internet, I would have been pissed if it was my internet, because everything is connected to the internet. My TV, my laptop, for my personal laptop, and my work laptop. And the crazy thing is, I haven't been into my office for at least a good 2 weeks, right? I've been working from home. So I was like, oh, that's gonna be terrible. I'm like, and then that's gonna force me to go into the office. But luckily enough for me, I just live my office is right across the street. But I was like, I don't want to go over there. It's like, no parts of me want to go over there. So I know people like, I know AT&T better give us a discount. I was like, they may not. And child, when they said what the discount was on the next bill, $5 off, I was like, what the hell is that? What does that mean to anybody? My internet, it won't help my internet. It won't help my phone bills. Like, it won't help anything. I was just like, and then they explained what happened, but the other thing that I thought was funny to me was the fact that people were going up to AT&T and letting them people have. I'm like, y'all, them people just work for AT&T. They don't know nothing about what's going on. But I do think it is odd that y'all only want to give a $5 credit. Like, y'all know that that's fucked up. That's janky as hell. $5 AT&T, as expensive as the plans are. Like, okay, AT&T, if that's what y'all want to say, y'all do y'all, but I just think it's fucked up. Definitely think it's fucked up. $5, that's the best y'all could do. I mean, you could knock off 60, 40, hell, even 20. I know that's not a lot of money, but come on. So $5, that's just really a slap in the face when people weren't able to use their products that you offer to them and that they pay for on a monthly basis, right? Especially, like I said, for people like me who work from home and they utilize their internet. Like, you put so many people at a disposition. Like I said, lucky enough for me, my internet, my phones were working when I woke up, but there were people who had no internet, no phones. So $5 was the best that y'all could come up with. Like, I just think that that's insane as hell. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know if you guys were affected by that. Let me know if you guys are with AT&T, and if you are with AT&T, let me know if you guys were affected by it. Let me know how long it was, right? Now, when it says SOS, oh yeah, right, because there's a certain area in Dallas that I go to that my phone literally goes to SOS and nothing works in that area. And coincidentally, it's an area that I want to move in when I look into building a house. But the only phone that doesn't work when it comes to that area is the secondary phone. So I'm not too worried about the secondary phone not working up there, because I'll have internet up there, and then I have this phone which has mobile hotspot on it, so I would be fine, and it doesn't act up. But yeah, like I said, you guys, let me know if you guys were affected by it, and how long did it last? And we'll pause here and we'll move on to the next story, you guys. All right, you guys, so the next story that I want to talk about, so I did my video last week. So here's a little thing going forward, right? So I'm thinking going forward with the, let's get into the blogs. I feel like what we'll do is like certain stories, and I said this before when we were doing the trending topics. So I'm going to get back to doing the trending topics videos. So anything that I think is going to be long and drawn out, I'll do it in a separate video, kind of like what I did with Risa Tisa, what I did with Portia. I intended to do Portia I've meant to do her for the last 2 weeks, but we're gonna drop her in this week's video. But things like that, like housewives stuff, big stories that I want to talk, like the Super Bowl, like with Usher in the Super Bowl, how I did that as an individual video. I think going forward, we'll do those kind of things. Certain things will be individual videos, and then some things we'll just continue to leave it in these types of in this type of setting, right? But we're going to talk about Risa Tisa. Now, like I said, I've already done my video on Risa Tisa. You guys can go check it out. It's up and available for you guys to watch. I give my thoughts and opinions about it. And the thing that I want to say is, I think all this stuff. I think a lot of things transpired after a lot of things did transpire after I recorded that video, right? Because one, I don't remember if in my I think they had found Legion. I don't remember. I have to go back. I would have to go back and watch my video, but they found him. He wanted to come out and give his side of the story. No one's interested in it. I do believe I said that in the video. There was another woman that came out that corroborated. She kept saying collaborated. She kept saying collaborated, but she finally came back and corrected herself and corroborated. She corroborated Reese's story. Then when Legion came out, he was saying that he wanted to sue Risa Tisa. And it was like, sir, you must don't know anything about the law because you can't sue her. Because one, she never made, she intentionally called you another name. Your name is Jerome. She called you Legion. So you can't sue her because she never flat out mentioned you, right? So he wants to sue her. I'm pretty positive he doesn't have a case because it was another TikToker who found her. Another thing that I want to speak on real quick, because I saw so many people discussing how much money that girl had made from her series. And it's like, I know people said she had made $80,000 or $80,000, right? She got a trip to London. I think she got the BMW that she wanted, right? But so many people were pocket watching her, and I just, for the life of me, I didn't understand why people were pocket watching that girl. It's like, damn, why y'all care about what people make? But then, I do have a TikTok, but I'm not active on TikTok. I prefer to be over here on the YouTube. May not make a whole lot of money from YouTube, but I make a lot more than what they do over there on TikTok, I would assume. But neither here nor there, right? She wasn't a partner at the time, but then she became a partner, and then they suspended her, right? But I just didn't understand why people were so consumed and fixated on how much money she made. Like, that has nothing to do with y'all. That ain't y'all's business. That is her business and hers alone. If she wanted to reveal, like, hey y'all, I made this much amount of money, that was her business. But for people to just be like, oh, I'm like, what does it have to do with it? And it to be honest with you guys, when I saw so many people talking about how much money she made, it came off very haterish. Let's be real. It came off as being haters, being jealous. That girl told her story, right? If she made money from it, she made money from it. How does that help or affect your life? If it doesn't, then why do you care? Because I damn sure didn't care, right? Then on top of that, this week, I know that Charlemagne, Envy, and Just Hilarious, which on a Breakfast Club, they mentioned it, right? And the comment that Charlemagne made was just so tacky and so tasteless, right? He was saying that he's basically saying that women who would allow stuff like that to happen to them are big back women. I was like, really? Okay. So, and I saw somebody on TikTok who said it perfectly, like, Just Hilarious, when Country Wayne was trying to get away from you and all that kind of stuff. I'm paraphrasing on that part. But the situation with Country Wayne, when he was trying to, get away from you and all that stuff, and whatever happened with them, were you a big back woman? Oh, better yet, Envy, when he was out there cheating on your wife with Erica Mena, and she took your ass back, was she a big back woman? And then they said something about Charlemagne and his wife. Like, y'all equating that to be like, y'all, it's essentially saying that a woman that is of a certain, just because a woman is, bigger than she's a big woman, right? A full figure woman, or if you want to call, even if you want to say the word, I'm not going to say it, but even you want to call her overweight or obese or whatever you want to call her, right? I wasn't going to say the F word, right? But if you want to say that she's overweight, obese, and things of that nature, like things that they try to say about Lizzo, right? If you want to say those things, that doesn't just equate to them. Anybody can have those insecurities, because that's really what it was. She had insecurities. She is going by societal norms. There are so many that she's going by insecurities, societal norms. It was, she liked the fact of having a man in the house to pay the bills. Like, so if you like, so it has nothing to do with Big Back. It had nothing to do with Big Back. And then I know T.S. Madison and Just Hilarious, they got into it, and Jess felt away because T.S. Madison said that I guess Jess looks manly. And then the thing that threw me is the fact that it was, okay, you guys can feel how you guys feel about trans women and trans men, right? That's fine. I'm not going to say anything about that. But at the end of the day, originally, T.S. Madison was defending a biological cisgendered woman. And just got her, like, y'all can, like, here's the thing. Y'all can talk about Risa Tisa being a big bag, but then when somebody comes at you, you can't handle it. Like, it is what it is. Talk shit and have somebody else talk shit. Because Risa Tisa technically doesn't have, she has a big platform, yes, right? But she doesn't have the big, she doesn't have the big platform like a T.S. Madison would. And I appreciate T.S. Madison for defending the woman, because, like I said, y'all, you know, the women in y'all's lives will envy and Charlemagne. By your logic, they have some big back energy, right? And Just Hilarious sound like you got some big back energy as well. So I didn't like that. I did see a clip that Risa Tisa, I don't know if she's been on Tamron Hall's show and it's aired, or if it's coming up this coming week. I don't know. Because I don't really, this is nothing personal. I don't watch Tamron Hall. Like any new daytime talk shows that are out, I don't watch them, right? I don't watch the Sherri Shepherd show. I don't watch Jennifer Hudson's show. I barely, oh God. There are times that I try to watch her show, but then he'd be like, my God, I got to turn this off. Kelly Clarkson. I try to watch Kelly sometime, but then he'd be like, oh my God, I cannot. If it ain't something that's been on for, you know, years and years, I can't watch it, right? But hey, let me know what you guys thought about that in the comment section below. You guys, we'll pause here and we'll move on to the next story, shall we? All right, you guys, so the next story that we're gonna talk about is this weird story. I think it happened in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. And this is from last week, by the way. So this story involves a woman who is down there waxing, you know, doing waxes, right? Well, I guess well, that's an esthetician. So she is, now when I first heard this story, because my friend actually mentioned it to me, right? And she's like, did you hear about the story about the woman down there in Mississippi that had her daughter waxing women? I was like, hadn't heard this story. And so she sent it to me and I read it. And when we were talking about it, my brain at the beginning of it, okay, I was like, okay, she got her child waxing women. I was like, but at least she's probably a teenager, right? I'm so this whole time I'm thinking that this young girl is maybe about 13, 14 years old, right? And then I go and actually I read the story, and it was on when I opened up my phone and I looked at the Shade Room, or one of those Shade Room, Ball Alert, one of those blogs, right? And I read it and it said her 5-year-old daughter. I was like, I know you fucking lying. Her 5-year-old? So I had so many issues with this story, you guys, because when I really sat down and thought about it, it's like, it was so many thoughts that went through my brain when I thought about this, right? One, the fact that you posted it on social media thinking it was cute. It's not cute. Number two, This is a 5-year-old girl, right? In between the legs of grown ass women. There's some, like I said, there are so many things that I had so many issues with this particular story. And I'm gonna talk about them each in detail why I had an issue with it, right? Number one, let's start with the mother. You have to sterilize, and like when you do any kind of things like that, you have to sterilize your station. You have to make sure everything is clean. And this is a 5-year-old, so she don't know the difference between what's sterile and what's not sterile. So you're putting your child in danger by doing stuff like that, right? Number two, on top of that part, is the fact that not everybody is clean. Like, let's just be real about that. Not everyone is clean. No disrespect to my ladies, I love y'all, right? But women are some of the nastiest creatures on, just nasty, right? I remember, like I told you guys about my first time going into the women's restroom to clean the women's restroom, right? And the fact that I was 17 years old, right? 17, my boss told me to go clean the restrooms, right? I just cleaned the men's restroom because I didn't know I was supposed to go and clean the women's restroom. He's like, "Did you clean the women's restroom?" I said, no. He's like, "I need you to clean the women's restroom," and he gave me some gloves. And I was like, "Why are you giving me gloves?" And then I went into the restroom and I didn't, so I started cleaning and you could smell it. I didn't know what it was at the time. You could smell it. But I went into one of the, the stalls and I was like, "Oh, there's a trash can in the stall." And pulled it out. And there was a friend right there looking at me that was uncovered. And I was like, "Oh, this is why he gave me the gloves." I was like, "Oh God, I just don't want to." I had to then take some toilet paper and wrap it up and throw it in the trash because the woman, whatever woman did it, she just, you know, took it out, dumped it, and that was it. I was like, "You nasty hoe," right? So you think about stuff like that, and then you think about the fact that you're in between a woman's legs where her vagina is, right? I'm not saying this to be disrespectful or rude, but people, again, like I said, not the cleanliest, right? If people are going to places when they have the flu or even COVID, what do you think about down there if a woman has a STD? I mean, like, let's just be real. STDs, any kind of infections down there. Like, you put your 5-year-old daughter at risk doing that. Then on top of that, the biggest problem that I had was it wasn't even with the mother, it was with the women. It was with the women who had no issue with a 5-year-old child being between your legs, giving you a Brazilian wax. Like, that is just, y'all hoes are nasty. Just nasty bitches. Ooh. So the mother got arrested, and thank God for that. But like, that is like, I could not believe what I was reading. I was like, this has to be a joke, right? Social media is going to be the downfall for a lot of people because everybody wants to get the clicks, the likes, and the views on social media. That is going to be the downfall of a lot of people. And this mother learned a lesson. I don't, you know what? I don't even know if she learned a lesson or not, because if she thought it was cute to post it, then she obviously didn't see anything wrong with it. But there's so much wrong with that. That's, I mean, unless your child is a genius, but even still, I wouldn't want, as a grown ass woman, if I was a woman, as a grown ass woman, even if my doctor, you know, I mean, 13, 14, I'm cool with that, right? At least by that age, you know about your body. But 5 years old, because I'm about to say, if you have because, these kids go to medical school and they can be, they can go to medical school as, 10 and 11 and be, your OBGYN, your whatever, right? But at least at that point, they know about the body. This is a 5-year-old child. I'm tired. I'm gonna leave that. I'm just gonna move on from that, you guys. But let me know your thoughts on that. in the comment section below, you guys, and we'll pause here and we'll move on to the next story, shall we? All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Don Lemons real quick. Baby, that man said, he got his money. So you guys remember, when was it? Because you guys know that Don is no longer over there at CNN. Chris Cuomo is not, like, is Anderson Cooper the only one that's still currently over there at CNN? Because I don't really watch CNN like that, right? And you guys know, like I've been saying, we're going into a political year, and I am going to steer clear of a lot of those. I'm gonna steer clear of a lot of those news outlets, because it's already getting bad in the sense of these political ads. My God, I can count on my hands how many times on my local news station I have to see one of them stupid ads, and then these people literally are talking about, I have the support of you know who, or I have the support of Governor Hot Wheels, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't deal with it, right? Now, so Don Lemon was paid $24.5 million in separation from CNN. And this comes to us from People Magazine, right? It says the network reportedly agreed to back pay the former CNN anchor following his April 2023 ousting. Don Lemon and CNN have reportedly reached an agreement since his ousting last year. The former CNN anchor and the news network have reached a separation deal that would pay Lemon approximately $24.5 million. The total is reportedly the amount of money Lemon was set to receive if his final contract ended in 3.5 years. My God, that's a lot of money. Damn, did I go to school for the wrong? Should I have gone to school for broadcast journalism? My God. It says representatives for Lemon had no comment when reached by People on Monday. While we never comment on specifics of any employee contract, the story is incorrect, a CNN representative tells People on Tuesday. After 17 years with CNN, the longtime anchor announced his firing from the network in an X, formerly known as Twitter, post in April 2023. I was informed this morning by my agent I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. Lemon. Oh, you guys remember, Don, he took that leave up when he, if this is true that he's getting this money, Don ain't got to ever do nothing again. My God, my God, my God. Because you guys remember when Don was let go from CNN, he was like, you know what? He's going to take the summer and he's just going to enjoy his husband. And once the fall came back, he would figure something, he would see what he was going to do. I don't know that Don is back on anybody's show or anybody's network. Now, I know Chris Cuomo is, but I don't know about Don. And Don, when I think about Don Lemon, right, it's kind of the same sentiment that I get when I think about Wendy Williams, right? And while Don might not be worth as much as Wendy, he might be, right? He might be worth more, or I don't know, right? Don, when he got fired, he took the time and he enjoyed his life, right? Kind of like what I wish would happen with Wendy, but I know that there's a difference between Don and Wendy, where Wendy has no access to her money, right? But I kind of wish that, actually, let's just throw her in here real quick. I kind of wish that, because we've already talked about the documentary as well, I kind of wish that with Wendy, that I wish she had access to her money so that way she could live her life and she doesn't have to work, because $24.5 million, Don Lemon ain't never got to work another day in his life, right? He's fine. He's set. As long as he don't blow that money, right? He's good. So I kind of wish the same for Wendy. Speaking of Wendy, the guardian that's over her money, I just found out that that person was sued by somebody else that they were guarding up. I think it's a sordid story, right? And they did social media. They found that person, right? They found her. She's a Not, but I kind of figured that, right? I kind of figured that much. Now, let me say this going back to Don real quick, right? When I said Don doesn't have to work, which he really doesn't unless he chooses to, right? Because I saw Don, he was on, I think it was on his Instagram, where he was like, why am I getting so many, hey, big head texts? Because people know that you done came into some money. They know that, but I mean, if you've been following Don for years, Don ain't broke. Don is not broke. One thing I will say is that I do miss about Don Lemon was them fools with New Year's Eve, right? Oh my God. Don, it was him, it was Andy and Anderson. Especially that one year that Andy and Anderson got drunk as hell. Don was drunk too. Baby, I will never forget it. Oh my God, because it was all over the blogs, right? But yeah, I think Don Lemon's gonna be fine. $24.5 million. Definitely gonna be fine, right? But you know what they say, more money comes more problems. But I think Don is gonna be fine. Let me know what you guys thought about that. Did you guys watch CNN? Let me know that in the comments. I did watch CNN, but like I said, at one point, it got to the point where I couldn't, especially under that last administration, I got to the point where I just could not watch them because they talked about their men every day. And it was like, oh my God. It's kind of like what Fox News is doing currently, how every day when you see Fox News, it's Biden this, it's Biden that, Biden. It's like, oh my God, I got a hard on for this man, right? But yeah, you guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments, and we'll pause here and we'll move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, so the next story that we're gonna talk about, this is gonna kind of be a long ass story. Like I said, it's about Porsha, right? I initially wanted to do this separately, but it didn't happen, so we finna include this all under one umbrella because it's been a lot of stuff that has transpired with Porsha since she signed back on to come and do the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So you guys know Porsha's back. She's back for season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and like I said before, I'm happy to see Porsha back. I was actually even getting to the point where I was like, okay, you know what, JB, you're gonna have to see Simon on your television screen. And I was like, not necessarily something that I wanted to see, but hey, it is what it is. We gotta see Simon, we gotta see Simon. It is what the fuck it is, right? So, the week of Valentine's Day, right? We saw Porsha, she was posting all this stuff about she and Simon. And I was like, oh, okay, so they must have been a good spot. You know, I was like, okay, if she's happy, then she's happy. I ain't got nothing negative to say about it, right? Well, she then filed for divorce. I was like, oh, okay. She filed for divorce from him. I was like, wait a minute, where did they come from? Because you literally saw her the week of Valentine's Day talking about her husband. And I was like, child, okay. Then after she filed for divorce, that's when we started seeing all this stuff come out about Simon, right? You know, about fraud when it comes to marriages. Now here's the thing. Can they deport him? Because I didn't realize, because it was something with his green card. So can they deport Simon? Let me know in the comments section. Because I thought it was, I thought it was so interesting. Because it was interesting to see it, right? Because you go from them, her talking about her husband, posting him on social media, to now she filing for divorce, and now we see all this stuff with him, with his issues with his immigration status, right? And I was just like, ooh, okie doke, not what I was expecting to see. Not at all what I was expecting to see. So it says here, this is coming from the Neighborhood Talk. It says Simon Guobadia hit with a lawsuit from a private jet company for breach of contract and failing to make payments. He owes them close to $1 million. Whew. Then, like I said, it was the stuff with his immigration. It was fraudulent marriages. So I was wondering, like, is Fallon also included in, like, is she part of that? Like, I was kind of confused. I was kind of confused, but okay. So then a few days ago, it says here that Portia is demanding Simon Guobadia to not destroy financial records amid divorce. She also requests prenup to be enforced. I was like, thank the good Lord that she got a prenup. I was when she filed. Oh, I was like, thank God, because I mean now it looks like Simon is a fucking fraud, right? So it says Portia is warning her estranged husband Simon not to destroy, conceal, or alter any files about his finances. According to page 6 in court documents, the returning Real Housewives of Atlanta star demanded that Simon maintain spare financial records or statements, all income records, all tax records, all expense records, all recordings or evidence reflecting relevant conduct by either party or risk facing sanctions, right? In addition, Williams filing also reveals she and Guobadia signed a prenuptial agreement on November 17th of 2022, which sets forth each party's separate property interest and marital property interest. Williams is also requesting the prenup be enforced and that Guobadia pay her legal fees. Okay, Portia, I ain't mad at you, sis. I am not mad at you, right? Now, the only thing so we know that they've only been married for 15 months, right? So they don't really have much together. But I know one thing that they did get together, and I don't know whose name it's in, is that house that they're, because you guys remember, Mama Diane lives in Portia's house that she got after her divorce with Cordell, right? Her mom lives in that house now, and then Portia and Simon got this new house that they currently live in. So I don't know if that's going to be something that they have to figure out what happens with that. But I was like, okay, Portia, like, I ain't mad at you, sis. I'm not mad at you. If you found out that the man was a scammer, but I mean, wasn't the writings kind of on the wall? Just asking the question, right? You lose them, how you get them. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. So Portia, and then also they revealed, I think Andy revealed it, that prior to her signing on to Real Housewives of Atlanta, they didn't know nothing about this because people were speculating like, oh, they knew about this. No, they didn't know about this. They were, at the time, they were still happy and in love. And it's just like, yikes, girl. Yikes. But okay, Portia, you know, what the age old saying is, a hard head makes for a soft ass, right? And I feel like Portia had to learn, I feel like she had to learn some of this stuff out, figure this stuff out the hard way. People were telling her not to marry him. She went on ahead and married him, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I know that part of me wonders, did she think that this was going to be her forever love? I don't. I don't know if I believe that she thought this was going to be forever. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me your thoughts and opinions, you guys. I'm not that sure if she thought that this was going to be forever. But I am interested to see how season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta plays out. Oh, speaking of Real Housewives of Atlanta, real quick. So we found out this week that Marlo is not returning to season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm happy about that, right? Marlo, I didn't really think, I was happy when Marlo got her peach in season 15, but then when she came on season 15 and the way that she was, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of it. So I was like, I think you kind of wasted a peach on Marlo. And then last season really wasn't it for me. So I was like, yeah, Marlo, I don't really see. So I know Andy's saying that this is not, he would love to see Marlo come back at some point. If Marlo were to ever come back to Housewives of Atlanta, I think Marlo was more suitable as a friend of. And what I would say is, if I feel like what Housewives should do with the friends of is treat them the same way that they did not Julia, but Adriana, Kiki, and Marisol over on Miami. Treat them like they're actual housewives, right? Like they go on all the cat. They get their individual scenes sometimes. Marvel got some individual scenes. They get individual scenes. They get a wrap up at the end of the season. They be at the reunion. Like I want them to treat if she does come back, treat her as if she's a full-time housewife, but you know, treat her like you treat the Miami girls. And that's really all I got. Sonya's not coming back, like I said. I didn't expect for her to come back. But yeah, you guys, let me know what you guys thought about Portia and Simon. We'll discuss it in the comments and we'll pause here and we'll move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next thing that we'll talk about is going to be your boy Diddy. Yeah. So I guess everybody's just gonna be coming out the woodwork now and saying that they want to sue Diddy after that whole situation with Cassie, right? Because that's kind of what it's giving. Because this week there was a guy who came out, right, and he's suing Diddy. I believe he said he lived with Diddy, and you know, so yeah, Sean Diddy Combs sued by music producer Rodney Jones, accused of SA, grooming, and more. It says Jones filed a lawsuit in federal district court in Manhattan earlier this week. It says Diddy has been sued by music producer Rodney Jones Jr., also known as Lil Rod, who accuses him of SA, grooming, and improper payment for his work as a producer on the Love album Off the Grid. Among other claims, Jones filed the lawsuit in federal district court in Manhattan this week, reports the New York Times.